Hey friends, how are you? My crafty friends, good to see you. Today I wanted to talk about the influence in my practice of Christianity. I heard the Witch of Enchantment talk about one time on one of his videos something about his practice has a Christian influence. And I suggest you check out his channel. He always has some great discussions. Him and the Sunshine State, which I love both their channels. They always have something up with a great discussion. Sorry about that. And since my practice does have a Christian influence, I kind of wanted to talk about that. There was a time that I called myself a Christian witch. And as I progress and my practice progresses, I still feel like I'm not necessarily a Christian witch, but I do have a strong Christian influence in my practice. There are some parts of Christianity that I have struggled with and I continue to struggle with. And then there are parts of Christianity from my background, from growing up. We were uh, um, very strong Christian family with Pentecostal roots, which I feel like some of that has taught me how to raise energy. If you kind of compare the two, um, to really dig in to find ways for emotional release, that influence has strongly affected my practice. I work a lot with angels, and I still work a lot with Jesus because I feel like he is a way shower, that he came here to show us a way, and a great teacher, um, somebody that is a great lover of people that I feel like I could emulate my life after. Um, but I have to say influence, and I love that word when he said because it's an influence to me. My practice and my spirituality are both so eclectic that I have to say that I have a strong influence with that because I know a lot of Christians would look and see what I do and not be like, what the heck? And sometimes a lot of witches look at what I do and is like, what the heck? My premise with that is that I don't have to justify my practice to anybody. I just like to talk about it. Um, I still believe in a creator, uh, a oneness, a source, a spiritual source of that is we are all connected to and a part of. I see it more of divine energy, kind of like now. Um, and so all of these are a part of my practice and my spirituality. And my craft is very connected to my spiritual self. So they kind of intertwine for me. And so that's why I say that. And then, just from that background of coming that, I didn't feel like I have to throw away everything. It was been some phenomenal things about that. But I took what I wanted and I melded it into my practice. And my practice and my spirituality are a lifestyle for me. So they both come into play. I've molded them together to what works for me. Now, my practice and my spirituality may not work for everybody else. I'm not trying to bring other people into what I have because it's a little bit of this and a little bit of that and a little bit of that, and that works for me. It keeps me thinking and growing and evolving, and I have seen that evolution in myself from all that I've learned. I take what, like a smorgasbord, you go, you take what you want. And you leave the rest. Nothing personal or anything. It's just not your thing. I don't have to take everything. I take what works for me, what rings in my spirit that I can work with. So some of the things that ring in my spirit that I can work with is I do have a relation. I feel like Jesus is a spiritual guide for me, has always been. In the relationship we have, I feel like I can use that. I feel like I see things more of a father mother God. I see the mother or the goddess aspect is the Holy Spirit to me. And so I work with the Holy Spirit, or the God in me, which would be Goddess. Hello. I see that aspect and I work that way with the Goddess, and it makes sense to me. Our relationship is very fulfilling. It helps me to tap into the divine feminine in me, and working with realizing that the Goddess is in me. It's that power source in me of creativity and power and ingenuity and all of those things that I need to work into my practice. And since the God or Goddess is inside of me, I can always pull from this wellspring of knowledge. How else do I use? I do use the Bible in my practice. I have a strong hoodoo base in my practice. So I work with the Psalms sometimes when I do my work. I work with different passages of the Bible that strongly set the intention for me. And I work with those things and will continue because I manifest this way. I've been practicing this way for quite some time, and I manifest this way. And so to me, if it's not broke, why fix it? Kind of attitude is what I have. But I'm also molding other parts and aspects into my practice and making it fit for me. One of the things about the craft is that you do you. You do those things and you pull in those as you can. Now, some people are very one way and they do it this way, and that I think that's beautiful. That's just not me. I'm a very eclectic person, have been all my life. Don't see that changing, and I like to do things, hate to say it, my way. And this is a way for me that has always worked. And so my Christian influence is very, very important and pretty much almost been foundational in my work. And I pull from that as well as other aspects of the craft. And then I mold it all together and it works for me. And as I said, it may not work for everybody, totally understandable. But for me, in the craft, you do what works for you, what makes you powerful, what are you comfortable with, what things do work and what things don't work for you, what things ring in your spirit ethically, what things you feel like you can do ethically. And then some people don't have any ethics, and that's fine too. I feel like that is what makes the craft beautiful, is that you have all of these choices to make what you do works for you. I honor traditions though, like in hoodoo. I try to keep the traditions of hoodoo, as foundational as I was taught, and honor the traditions. But I also have parts of witchcraft that are not related to that I also blend into, and it just gives me this flexibility. And a lot of what I do is very intuitive work and prayer, meditation, visualization, working with angels, building power. And I do that through song and dance and all of that. And those are all foundational to how I was brought up. And so it is, like I said, it's just such a part of me and second nature that I don't choose to do it another way, nor would I want to do it another way, because as I said, all of this works for me. Is it for everybody? No, it's not. So that's my thoughts on this whole thing, my take. The beautiful thing about the craft is you do what works for you. And I choose to honor everybody's choice to do and practice as they see fit for them. I think that is the beauty of the craft. So I'm not trying to gatekeep anybody. And if you gatekeep me, I really don't care, because I'm still going to do what I want to do as I do it anyway. So have a beautiful day. Be blessed. Talk to you soon.